All right, guys. Terrific Tom wasn't the only quarterback who got on the move or got paid this week. A host of other NFL teams made additions to the quarterback room. Ryan Tannehill made the biggest splash this group, getting a 4-year, $118 million deal from the Titans, thanks to his help from their playoff run. The Colts landed Phillip Rivers on a 1-year, $25 million deal. The Panthers paid up for Teddy Bridgewater, 3 years, $63 million, and the Vikings extended Kirk Cousins for 2 years, $66 million. That's a lot of money. Some pretty interesting names, huh, guys? What do you think, Jay? Which of these teams will be least satisfied with their investment?
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot of money being divvied out to some, dare I say, mediocre quarterbacks. But hey,
mediocre.
That's the market. So hey, let's go. Let's go process of elimination here. The Panthers get Teddy Bridgewater for $21 million. I'm not going to sneeze at that. That seems pretty reasonable. And we can't forget Matt Rule down there on a nice 7-year contract. So he definitely got some time to get some things in order. And the Panthers don't have the best draft position right now, being in that 7th spot. So maybe they're looking to give Teddy a shot. And I think there's an out after the 2nd year. So they got some wiggle room in there, considering how long of a contract the coach has. I'm looking at Kirk Cousins at 2 years, $33 million a year, and that extension. I'm not pleased with that. I would prefer you make Kirk Cousins go out there and you play out the last year of his contract, and show me what you got. I know he's had a relatively decent couple of years. Finally won a playoff game, so we got to put some respect on that. But all in all, I'm just not, I'm just not moved. Ultimately, the numbers look nice, but we'll see how it goes this year. You do notice now there's been a mass exodus on that Vikings team. Both cornerbacks are gone. You lose the big man Linval Joseph. Stephon Diggs is out the door. I don't think he was all that pleased with the Kirk Cousins extension. So these are the things. So these are the type of things I'm looking at. So without all that, look, Kirk Cousins, he's a guy, and all these quarterbacks, matter of fact, they all require adequate support. They're not carrying a team on their back by themselves. So that's one of the things I'm looking at here. And then Phillip Rivers for the Colts. I think that was a pretty. I like that sign. I think it's okay. Short term package. The Colts, they have a really good offensive line, so you're less worried about a guy who's immobile, and that's a well run. The Colts are well put together. They're still recovering from Andrew Luck. This is still what this is all about. You lose Andrew Luck, and you have too good of a roster to tank and get a good dude. So this is kind of where they're at. And that leaves me with the Tennessee Titans in last place in this group of 4 teams in the quarterback shopping spree with a 4-year, $118 million deal. I'm looking at this, $91 million in guarantees. Okay, well, look, Tennessee, I understand. You benched Marcus Mariota last year. You put in Ryan Tannehill, and he took you 7-3 down the stretch, and then surprised us all. Well, didn't surprise me that you beat the Patriots, but he surprised us all when he went into Baltimore and knocked off the Baltimore Ravens. But let's not get this twisted. The Baltimore Ravens, the Tennessee Titans rather, did not win these games because of Ryan Tannehill throwing the ball. I mean, let's get real here. 7 for 14, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the Patriots. Okay. 8 for 15, 72 yards, a touchdown to interception against the Ravens. So let me get this straight. 160 yards in two playoff games, and you threw the ball 29 times. I really don't. I'm confused. I really don't understand why Derrick Henry got the franchise tag. They got this backwards. I mean, you mean to tell me Derrick Henry rushes for about, I don't know what it is, about 300, more than 300 yards in these 2 games, and he gets franchise tagged for $10 million a year? That's so disrespectful. That's egregious. But meanwhile, Ryan Tannehill can throw for 160 yards in 2 games, and he gets all this money. This is a bad contract. There's no other way to slice it. The Tennessee Titans, they will regret this day. Last year, all these games that Ryan Tannehill won, I mean, it's nice, but I mean, listen, I'm telling you, they just lost Jarrell Casey. They're going to lose more players off of that defense because now you're playing Brian Tannehill pretty big money for a quarterback. I mean, this deal is approaching $30 million a year, And if you get above $30 million, that is franchise quarterback money. And Ryan Tannehill is not a franchise quarterback. He's 31 years of age. If he was all that good, he would have beat Marcus Mariota from the jump in camp. And instead, we got Mariota flopping around for 6 games before anybody decided, hey, oh, yeah, he's not good. Tannehill, go in there and see if you got anything. That was the plan all along. The plan when they got Ryan Tannehill was just, hey, we got a backup to Marcus Mariota to maybe get a little quarterback competition in here. They wasn't expecting this. And I guess if the fact that they're expecting the same performance last year going forward, it's not going to be a thing. And, oh, by the way, Jack Conklin's another guy that you lost going out to the Cleveland Browns, your right tackle, who's very, very good. So this is a hot L. And once again, they will rue the day that they made this decision. And I know Cody's over there. He's loving every minute of it because this will not go well for the Titans moving forward.
Hot L, get your hot L's fresh off the press, hot L's. Listen, all right, so keeping with the theme from greatest to least investments, you know I got to get the greatest to my boy Teddy Two Gloves that finally got his money after breaking his leg. So I'm glad he finally gets the opportunity to show that he can get it done. I'm serious, man. Once he broke his leg, people he was an afterthought. We forget he was the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings at the time. He did lead them to the playoffs, and if Blair Witch could find his feet, he would have, made the field goal. That's right, Blair Witch, not Blair Walsh. That's neither here nor there.
The Blair Witch trials.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the deal. So he's the greatest investment. Number 2, I'm gonna have to go with I'm not the biggest fan of Kirk Cousins, but when I got this list, I gotta do what I gotta do. And listen, evidently I wasn't the only one that wasn't the biggest fan. Because as soon as he got his contract, Stephon Diggs said, "Oh, I'm out of here. Ain't no way y'all can pay me to play with this dude another year. I am out of here." Hey, Adam, how you feel about that? Well, I kind of like him, man. Well, I'm out of here. I ain't got time for it. Hey, trade me. I don't care who you trade me to. Hey, we're going to trade you to Buffalo. Well, you know what? I just bought a new North Face jacket that I've been wanting to wear. So, hey, sign me up. And by the way, you know what? I just heard what the Texans did. So if you want some draft picks, you better trade me right now. Oh, they ain't going to give us that much. Try me. And then went off to the tune of a 1, 3, 5, and a 4 next year. That's neither here nor there. Then let's go ahead and roll down to the Texans. Here's the deal. I understand what Jay's saying. And if the question was the most atrocious contract of them all, I probably would have gave it to Tannehill. But, it's about the investment, right? And here's the deal. I don't know what this GM was thinking. He might have been drinking on the job, not drinking as much as Bill O'Brien, but drinking on the job nonetheless. I don't know. I'm not excited about this contract, but here's what I would say. You bring back majority of the team that was there outside of Conklin. I know Conklin gone, but you bring back most of those guys that got you to the AFC Championship game. I know what you did to Derrick Henry. Listen, that's highway robbery. That you should not treat your horse of a running back like that. But hey, this is the NFL, and we know this.
Hey, and just cut it. Don't you? That's just overall league disrespect to running backs. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I was just gonna say that. And it speaks to the volume of the quarterback position is the glamour position. So you don't even got to be the top 5 in your position. You just need to be somewhere in between 1 and 32. You know what I mean? Like, you just slide on in there and you're going to get paid because this is ridiculous. However, you can be a running back out here running for dang on almost 3,000 yards a season. And they're like, hey, how old are you? You 26. Oh.
Yep.
You know what?
Time's running out, bro.
Hey, how many franchise tags we got? Oh, you got 2, boss? All right. Yeah, we're going to hit you right there with that franchise tag. And then you come back around. Hey, how old are you? I'm 1 year older than I was last year. Hey, we can still franchise them again. Yeah, we can, but we got to pay them a whole lot of money. But it's just 1 year? Yeah, but running backs don't get paid that much. All right. And then next thing you know, you out of there, right? So, listen, it's unfortunate, but Tannehill plays the position that pays. That's all it is to it. Even though he don't deserve the money, he was the quarterback of the AFC Championship Tennessee Titan team. And look, they went with the safe bet. Instead of going out and rolling the dice, they said, we'll just bring back the guy that's safe. We'll get rid of Mariota. Mariota went on to the Raiders, and here we stand. And then, my least favorite, Mr. I should be on the couch himself, Phillip Rivers. 32 kids later, and now he's walking down the valley. Listen, I don't know what the coach was doing. I don't know. If you're going to sign Phillip Rivers, you might well stay with Brissett. And I got it. People, well, last year he didn't play bad, but 2 years ago he was setting the league on fire. Yeah. Well, if Jameis Winston is called 30 for 30, let's call Phillip Rivers 20 for 20, because that's what it's looking like over here. 23 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. So I'm just saying, if we're going to beat up Jameis Winston, maybe we should beat up old Married with Children over here, because he went 20 for 20, you dig? And you know what? He a little decrepit himself. He about to go take Tom Brady's parking spot in the AARP here in a little bit. That's what's about to happen. I'm not a fan of this. You pay him $25 million for 1 year. For what? Because if he come out here throwing the ball like it's shot put again, like he did last season, then you're gonna be upset. Then who you gonna who's the backup for the Colts? Give me that hot backup. Anybody know?
Brissett right now. But,
Brissett?
I mean, if he goes away, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Tell you.
So that's my thing, right? So you might end up grabbing the guy at the XFL if Brissett end up going back to the Patriots, which that's for another day. But I think Brissett should think about going over there, filling that vacancy in the Patriots, whatever. They're gonna be anyway.
Brian Hoyer, that's who their backup is.
Didn't the Colts give Brissett a contract extension before last year? Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. But either way,
can the research department get on that real quick?
Yeah, we'll get on that.
Hey, Tom, you gotta make sure Cody got the information. You can't do everything, man. Don't worry, we'll get rid of Tom. Anyway, so yeah, Phillip Rivers, 1 year, $25 million. I'm not on it. Like, he threw for 4,600 yards. I got that. 66% completion rate. Yeah. For the 88.5 quarterback rating. Yeah, that sounds all good and dandy. But listen, that dude was a dumpster fire. The Chargers should have been better than they were, and all he did was throw up the ball. You know what he was doing? He was out here just coming out here with the blindfold, chucking up in the middle of the field. Hey, Mike Williams, you wanna go down and catch this? Yeah, just put it up for me. And then he throwing it to the other team. I don't want to hear nothing about this probably Hall of Fame career. Oh, what a good look to get him to the draft next year. Man, please. The coach, you messed up. I'm telling you right now, you wasted a hot $25 million. You should have just kept Brissett as a starter. And then next year, you could have easily went to the draft and, because you're going to sneak it up anyway. You could have went to the draft and you could have got one of these quarterbacks next year since you're going to miss out this year. Or I could be wrong. Right? And you try to get you one of these quarterbacks this year, definitely not in the first round because you gave that to San Francisco. They need to hear no that. But you could go, later in the draft and then get you one of these young guns in the second round. Because make no mistake, all these guys I'm hearing in the first round, let me tell you this. It's only two guys that's locked in the first round. There's Burrows and Tua. The rest of these guys, we'll see as it comes. But it's only two guys that I can put my paycheck that's going to go in the first round. So you could get you one of these other guys in the second, third, fourth, however you want to do it. So, yeah, Phillip Rivers is my least investment, and the coach should be ashamed of himself. Irsay need to put the bottle down because he out here I don't know what's going on, all right? I don't agree with this. Holla at your boy.
For the Drink of Wisdom Stats and Research Department, Jacoby Brissett just signed a 2-year extension worth up to $30 million last offseason. He has a $6 million base salary, but between his signing bonus and his $7 million guaranteed roster bonus, he carries a $21.3 million cap hit in 2020. So the Colts might want to figure out how to get some of that off.
Yeah, he's still on the roster. So
they're paying $46 million to Brissett and Rivers alone.
Ouch.
Unless they make something happen. I think they can get about half of that if they were to trade him, cut him, whatever the case may be. Yeah, guys. So no secret here. I'm so happy the Tennessee Titans backed up the Brinks truck for Ryan Tannehill. Look, man, this I don't mind that they paid him somewhat. I mean, I get it. The guy does the thing for you. You're not picking high enough to go get a dude in the top of the round or whatever. Like, but 4 years, 118 with 91 million in total guarantees. Yeah, if he turns back into a pumpkin and turns back into I'm always running around in the hospital, Tannehill from the Dolphins, dude, that is so much money. You are just burning. That can set your team back years. And that's if, you get anything less than quality stellar play that, well, by the way, we didn't see that in the playoffs. He didn't do anything. I mean, it's the same crap that my Jags did with Blake Bortles, but at least Blake Bortles did something in the playoffs. This dude just handed the ball to Derrick Henry, and it was another one of the situations where you saw the coaching staff didn't trust him. The playbook was not open. So I don't get how you don't trust the guy enough in the big moments when the lights are brightest, but then you back up the Brinks truck for him. What are we doing? And yeah, Henry, I get not wanting to pay maybe running backs, know how it goes. You franchise tag him, okay, whatever. I mean, let's be real. Derrick Henry's only really had one great season, also, so don't get too carried away. But yeah, that playoff run that earned the man something. And this is what you give him franchise tag.
Before we get too disrespectful with Derrick Henry,
I'm
I would say I would say a season and a half because he came on at the end of last year as well.
Fair enough.
I would say for Derrick Henry, traditionally, I don't think we've ever seen a season start to finish where he dominated. He's always seems like he's one of those dudes he's a second half of the year type guy. But
yeah,
I think Tennessee got this backward. I would have paid Derrick Henry and made Ryan Tannehill show me something on a franchise tag for a full year. He didn't give you a full year last year.
Exactly.
You know what hurt Derrick Henry? And this is how I looked at it. As much as I agree with you, Ty Gurley and Zeke Elliott hurt Derrick Henry. Those two signings hurt him. Because when you decide to pay the running back and then they don't give you it was hard for Tennessee to trust that process.
Yeah. You know what it would have been, right? They paid Derrick Henry mega contract and they would have came out this year and been a, air raid Joe Brady LSU offense. Just AJ Brown somehow caught 200 passes this year and we're like, what's going on here? And they all of a sudden didn't give Derrick Henry the ball. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, and run the list of the other ones real quick. I do like Teddy Bridgewater to the Panthers a lot. I think that's a great fit. You're talking about a guy that's only going to make about $20 million per season, not that expensive. The Panthers don't strike me as a team that's ready to tank. I don't think they don't want to be horrible this next year. I think when you have a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new culture you're trying to build, stinking up the joint going 2-14 is hard to sell that culture. But you get a guy like Teddy who can come in and win you some games. I think they're going to go win the AFC champion or NFC championship. No, but it's better than just throwing in Greer or Kyle Allen and just say, hey, good luck, or going and draft a guy and then having those growing pains. You get a nice guy in Bridgewater that can come in and start your cultural rebuild in the right direction. And yeah, he has a great chance to really be something. Brady and them, they might be able to figure out how to make him tick and maybe give him a great opportunity to finally get a chance to lead a team for multiple seasons. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. Just because you paid him more money, it don't make a difference. The Vikings, to me, that arrow is just slightly downtrending, and you're asking him to carry more water, and you're paying him like a guy who should be able to carry the water. Guys like, Russell Wilson, who make up a disproportionate amount of lack of, weapons and talent. Cousins is not that guy. He'll get you whatever you got in the team, but he's not going to be that extra guy. And yeah, Rivers, Drink, you're absolutely right. The only thing I'll say against it is that the AFC South bar is pretty low. And the Colts do have a nice core around their line of scrimmage, and their coaching staff is pretty smart. He doesn't have to be very good for them to kind of be a decent team. I think they'll be an 8-8, 9-7, fighting for a wild card team. But yeah,
good percent for that.
Hey,
true.
Well, I mean, to that point, the Colts that strikes me as a look. We give Phillip Rivers, maybe we can squeeze one more great year out of him. And if we don't and we're terrible, it doesn't matter. We'll just draft another quarterback next year. As opposed to a 4-year, $118 million deal for Tannehill, the Colts can be done with Rivers next offseason. The Titans are stuck.
Yep. That's why I'd give the slight edge to the Colts over that. But neither are great.
Listen, Tannehill, for whatever we can say, Tannehill was the quarterback of the team that was in the AFC Championship. Rivers threw his team right out of the playoffs.
To that point, Tannehill could have thrown his team out the playoffs. The Titans
Could
just wouldn't
have.
let him. They wouldn't
Could
let him.
have.
They handed the ball off.
Could have.
You know what
But
we're
he
getting.
didn't.
You know, hey folks, you know what we're getting at right here. We don't like any of these deals besides the Bridgewater one. That's ultimately what we're getting at. Just so in case you hadn't figured it out.
Yeah. That's the goal. Hey, and leave it on this. Cautionary tale. One AFC championship. Don't ride that for 3 years. It's not a good idea. Yeah, appearance. Right. An appearance. Don't ride that for 2 or 3 years. It's not a good look, I promise.